Good Erev Shabbos, everyone. Erev Shabbos, Parshas, Chukas. And let's get started right away with our questions on this week's Parshas, Chukas. Two questions to ask at the Shabbos table. One is a simple question, and one requires a little bit of a back. Here comes the simple question: what is Parshas? What's the Parah Adumah doing in the beginning of Parshas Chukas? The Parah Adumah is the red heifer. When a person becomes tamei, contracts impurity from coming into contact with a dead body with tumas mace. The only way to become tahor among the steps is getting the ashes of the Parah Adumah sprinkled on it. What's that doing over here? The Netziv of Naftali Tzvi Yehuda Berlin Zatzal, the famed Rosh Yeshiva Volozhin, points out that already back in Parshas Bahaloischa, they had the Parah Adumah. Steht in Pasuk, in Perek Ches Pasuk Zayin, Hiza Alein Mechatas. When the Leviim were chosen to help out in the Mishkan and the Beis HaMikdash, they already had a Parah Adumah. So why did the Torah wait until after Parshas Korach to introduce to us the Parah Adumah? It's out of order. Why is it? Question number one. Question number two, there's an interesting halacha that is associated with the Parah Adumah, and it requires a bit of concentration. The Parah Adumah had to be made, shechted and burnt, and they had to take the water from a certain place and mix it together. All that had to be done with people who were tahor, but here's the catch: not completely tahor. A person becomes tamei and he goes to the mikvah. He is not yet fully tahor. He's called a tvul yom. He's gone to the mikvah and it's daytime. He has to wait for nighttime to become fully tahor. First Mishnah in Shas, Maseches Brachos discusses this a lot. The Parah Adumah can be done with tvul yom. The person who's involved in the Parah Adumah does not have to be fully tahor. It's enough that he's a tvul yom. That's what we hold lemais. There was a sect that has since died out, as all illegitimate sects in Judaism end up dying out, called the Tzdoikim. Now the Tzdoikim held a higher level. They held the Parah Adumah could only be done with Mu'uravei Shemesh, could only be done with those people who are completely tahor after the Seis HaKechavim, after night. And the Prushim held, we hold, no, it's kosher with Tzvul Yom, to the extent that the Prushim would always be metame any kohen, any person involved in making the Parah Adumah. The Bezdin would be, the Sanhedrin would be metame them, then have them go to the mikvah. And they were particular, the Parah Adumah only be done with people who are Tvul Yom. L'hoitzi miliban shel tzdoikim, to show that tzdoikim, we don't hold them. To the point that the Tosefta quotes the Netziv in the Tosefta, says in Maseches Parah, Perek Gimel Halacha Daled, says that there was once they made a mistake, and the Parah Adumah was done with people who were completely tahor, and they invalidated it and made them do it again. That's what the Tosefta says. Question is why? Why were the Prushim so stark? Why are they so makbid, so careful that it have to be done with Tvul Yom? Okay, we have a machlokes with the Tzdoikim, the Seder, they're machmir. We hold that chumrah is illegitimate, but to the point that if a Parah Adumah was done with that chumrah, that the person was completely tar, you throw it out, you throw it in the garbage. Why did the Prushim go so far? Those are the two questions that I want you to ask at the Shabbos table, and let's see what the Netziv has to say in its epic work, the Hamek Dover, to answer these questions. Says the Netziv. State in Vayikra Rabbah, the Medrash Rabbah says, "Yusodem al adnei paz." The Torah has a very strong foundation. Ela parshiyei shel Torah shenidroshes nifneim lachreim. We can darshan the parshas of the Torah before and after. In other words, we can darshan the juxtaposition of the parshas. And the inyan is the 250 Rosh Sanhedrin from Shevet Reuven chatu, they sinned in last week's parsha. But masherotu is kaddish yoysim migvul shagav lahem. The whole yisoid of Korach, the whole foundation of Korach's machlokes against Moshe Rabbeinu, was that they did not respect or have any regard for the boundaries that the Torah set for how close people can come to Kadosh Baruch. The Kohanim can come the closest. Moshe Rabbeinu was up there, and then there were Leviim, and there was the rest of Israel, and that was the fundamental machlokes. We're all Kaddish. We all spoke that we heard from Hashem. We all have Kiddush. And because they did not respect those boundaries, and it could be they had good intentions, they wanted to come closer to a Kadosh Baruch. But the Torah sets gevulos. The Torah sets boundaries. They didn't respect the boundaries. They went too far. They caused the machlokes. That is why Parah Adumah comes right after the parsha of Korach. Why? Adumah says that it's Ein el tahara v'lo l'kedusha. Adumah is not about kedusha; it's about Torah. Therefore, it's kosher b'tful yom. And the tzdoikim did not believe in that. They wanted it only to be done b'muravei shemesh, because they gave it a level of kedusha that it didn't have. Says the Nitziv, the tzdukim wanted to be manhig kedusha. They wanted to be noyik, to have kedusha. They were not respecting the gvul, the boundary of what a paraduma is. The Torah sets out. A paraduma has no shaykhs to kedusha. A paraduma is a din in Torah. If we don't respect the boundaries that the Torah sets for the mitzvahs, it can cause destruction in Yiddishkeit. So why is the Parah Adumah written by Parshas Korach? It's interesting. Meaning when the Torah is written, HaKadosh Baruch Hu obviously knew that down the line there's going to be this big machlokes between the Tzdukim and the Prushim. And the idea of Parah Adumah is written here to teach us the importance of following the tradition, the importance of following the Messiah. This is the gvul, how far HaKadosh Baruch Hu was letting me come to him, and I'm going to respect him. As the Rambam says when he brings down this halacha in Perek Aleph, Hilchos Parah Adumah Lach Yadalit, Hatzdoikin would say, says the Rambam, Ein ma'aseh parah kosher b'muravei shemesh. You have to be completely tahor. Therefore, Bezdin and Bai Sheni would be metame the kohen that serves the parah and make him go to the mikvah and be a tful yom. Levatel divrei elu hazeidim, to nullify the words of these evil people. Shemoirim meha oila al rucha. The tzdoikim zok the Rambam. They would paskin based on how they feel. This is how I feel. This is what I feel is just. This is what I feel is yosher. This is what I feel is moral. It's based on my feeling. Loy min hakabbalah. The fatal flaw of the tzdoikim was they did not follow the Messiah. Many times we ask, why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? The first line of thought is, did my father do that? Did my grandfather do that? Did my great-grandfather do that? And if the answer is no, we have to be very careful before we matter something that there's no Messiah for. The idea of Parah Adumah coming here specifically right after the Parashah of Korach is to teach us that when we chas v'shalom, do not respect the boundaries of our tradition, that leads to harisas hadas. That leads to destruction of Yiddishkeit. We should be zoiche to have the proper respect for the halachas, to have the proper respect for the Kabbalah, for the Messiah that we have, and with that, live life the way it should be lived. Wishing everyone a wonderful Shabbos.